What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode with your boy Phrankleen. This is your first time. Thank you for stopping by. My name is Phrankleen. I'm the brain behind this platform. If you like what I'm about, be sure to give me the like button, smash on the subscribe button, share my videos with your loved ones. Okay, so this is a segment called Say It Like It Is. We talk about everyday topic, pretty eclectic, that affects you and I and pretty much all of us across every spectrum of our lives. Now, so a few days ago, I was actually planning to film a totally different video, right? But I got this lengthy email, very heart-gripping, from this gentleman who has asked me to make him anonymous. It's one of my viewers and stuff. So this email, I kind of checked on my iPhone. I was busy at the time. I didn't really read it. So now this morning, I read it, and man, I was gobsmacked. The topic is not new to me because I've heard similar stories in the past, but this gentleman has asked me to kindly share his story with my viewers, and hopefully someone else can learn from it. But then he's asked me to make him anonymous, which of course I would never name people, identify their persons in any of my videos. That's not a good thing. So thank you, sir, for sharing your story. So this man, so I'm going to cut through the chase because it's a very lengthy email and I'm mindful of time. This gentleman basically has lived in the UK for about roughly 21 years of his life. Okay, so he's been with this woman, married to this same woman for they've been together nearly 20 years, but they've been married for about 15 plus years, going 16 now. So, and they have I think they had the first child, according to him, outside of before they officially got married. So the first child is roughly 19 now. So anyway, they've got 4 children. So the man came to the UK like the story of any immigrant. Paid his dues, did cleaning job, worked as a taxi driver, had at some point in his life he had about 3 jobs. He bust his backside, did everything to improve his life. The story, the classical, I can say the classic story of an immigrant, who has to start from square one and stuff. And he managed to educate himself, got a degree, a couple of professional qualifications, and and whilst doing all that, he was supporting her as well. They both met in the UK. She also came from Nigeria and stuff like that. So they met here and they've been going back and forth together. So this gentleman said, there are a few things I'm going to pull out and I want you to follow me. So this gentleman said, over the years they had highs and lows in the relationship and stuff, and he had caught this woman on several instances, the early days of their relationship, as someone very manipulative, right? He said she's naturally a very beautiful woman and stuff, and by the time she starts to shed tears and starts to tell you about her wrongdoings, you have no choice but to just forgive her. And so let's just say brother got pussy whipped, forgive my language, but I feel like saying that. There's a reason why. And he was manipulated and he basically fell in love, which isn't exactly a crime. But think about this. One of the best gifts given unto us is time. If somebody manipulates you for even 6 months, you can never gain back the 6 months. You can, and you will never gain back the 6 months. Now, in the story of this brother here, built his life, worked hard, doing everything, supported this woman. He said to me, I remember this now, at a point she wanted to go into a business. He actually gave her 16 or 17,000 pounds to support her, as a husband, and so not a bank loan, gave it to her. She said she wanted to start selling women's hair or some sort. So anyway, everything just hit rock bottom. She misused the money. It became a big argument. He left it at that. How many times can you count? Sometimes as I say in Yoruba, you know what I mean? So even though it's devastating. I cannot imagine you giving £17,000 out of trust to your partner to help them elevate their life, and the person misuses the fund, and you then have to let it slide in the name of love and the name of peace and progress, and you can't even get a refund. You know, that's a major loss, especially on this side of the world. It's a whole lot of money. Now, but that's that. So long story short, he said he had seen signs that caught my attention, that she is, in his own words, she's professionally dishonest in his own grammatical term, in the sense that she's so manipulative that he will catch her lying and concealing information and misdirecting him and stuff, and she would beg him and just, you know, cry, and she's very dramatic. And he's a very conservative person. He doesn't like people getting involved in his business. So by the time pastors, there's always a case of pastors, they'll preach to him. Boom, pastors, religious people. Pay attention to this, because this is one of my favorite parts, because I was reading this, I read this story back to back. Pastors over the years would slap the Bible in front of them and scriptures, and basically, you know, brother, the Lord doesn't want divorce, do this, you know, forgive your wife. They will tell you they're admonishing them, but the truth is they were concealing an already jacked up relationship. Now let's come back to now. So the firstborn child became poorly, had health problems. I'm not going to go into details because it's private. So they were in the hospital. The boy was hospitalized and stuff. They had to do major blood tests and stuff. He needed some sort of transplant and stuff like that. Anyway, that whole process required parents being tested and yada yada yada. And then there was a mismatch of DNAs and stuff. Long story short, this gentleman found out that his firstborn child is not his. He said it looks identical like his wife, because most dudes look like their moms or whatever, depends, but most guys, it might look like for example, I look somewhat like my mother. But the man said it was a bombshell, because they found out. They actually approached a private clinic for some other tests and so he found out anyway that. So then that prompted him to do a DNA test on the 4 children, and it became a massive argument. Even this woman became defensive, and she was running from pillar to post, telling everybody that this and this and this at this point in my life, yeah, maybe this man is having affairs, yada yada yada. Long story short, he equally found out that the second born, the one that followed the first one, is not his. The last 2 are this man's children, biological children. The first 2 are not his children. These are children. He said the firstborn is about 17 plus, and I think the secondborn is about 15. Yes, and then the other 2 are like 12 and 9, according to him. And somebody you've been with for that long, so you've been living a lie. You've been manipulated. This is why I said in my previous videos, for those impatient men, and can I just put a disclaimer, please, let's feel free to express ourselves in the comment section, but this is not men versus women type of platform. I hope the sensible people can relate to me. Okay, this is not because I'm of the opinion there are good men and there are bad men. There are good women and they are equally dangerous, nasty, trifling women, right? So I'm not I like I've always said, my platform is we can sort of express our disgust about certain experiences and how we feel and opinions, but I like to be objective, because that way, even when we express the way we feel, that way at the end of the day we can all learn and hopefully improve our lives. All right, but this is not a topic to try to lump every woman under one umbrella and say women are this and stuff. Don't forget, I live with a woman. She has her imperfections, she also has her perfections. I love her the way she is. I have my truckload of imperfections, I equally have, okay, my perfections. So what I'm saying is, We're laser targeting on this particular case. Let's be objective. Thank you. Now, this gentleman found out that this woman, of course, slept with another man, and she wouldn't tell him who she slept with, and all that, and to have invested a chunk of your life, I'm talking donkey years that you can never regain. You've bonded with these children as yours. You've raised them. You're looking forward to, if you have a 17-year-old plus, that's a young man, even as a young teenager, but you're behind them. You're rearing them to become grown men and go into the world and start their own lives, and you realize that's not your child. It's a big blow. It's evil. It's callous. It's deadly. It's painful. And this man said to me, he's currently moved out of the home. He's staying with, I think, a very close friend just for the time being. He doesn't know what to do. There's a part of him that wants to do something really crazy, of course. But, people are telling him just to stuff, and he even said, to add insult to injury, if I can say that, she had gone to the pastor, and this pastor, who are these crazy ass men of God that need a beat down, that basically use, this is what I say, I'm not a religious person, okay? I believe in God, that there is a God existed, but I'm not. I was born a Christian, I was born into church, but it's just bull crap. I've said it before, you can never use religion to take a book to try to tame an adult. No way. I would prefer you sit two adults down and tell them the importance of not being misogynistic, the importance of not indulging in domestic violence, the importance of being a good father figure to your children, the importance of being a good husband, the importance of taking care of your family, the importance of being a responsible man, the importance of living a crime-free life. You don't need no goddamn religion to know those things. You don't need a religion to know that. You don't need a religion to know that you shouldn't beat your wife, or you shouldn't manipulate your husband. You shouldn't go sleep with another man, get pregnant with another man, and bring those children and make an innocent man raise them as though they're his kids. You don't need no Bible or Quran or Buddhism to tell you that. You don't. It's just the way humans are orchestrated, callous, mean, and wicked. There's a lot of money involved. There's a lot of time, emotions that you can never regain. It's life shattering. And so he said to me that he's actually considering lawsuit. I mean, it's not me. It's not for me to decide. I can only share my views. And the truth is, even if you consider lawsuits and all that you've been manipulated and stuff, you're within your rights. Who am I to say don't consider lawsuits? But for people to try to use religion, I feel sorry for the children, because those two children that this man has raised like his sons, they are innocent. I pray and I hope for speedy recovery for that boy that has major health problems now. But he's done nothing wrong. Unfortunately, he's just a victim of circumstance. Unfortunately, he's a son to a woman who is very evil, who is self-centered, who is manipulative, who is dangerous, who has managed to just, lie to him. Because if you've told your children that this is your father, and that person is not their actual biological father, you're a dangerous person. I think people like that are capable of even murder. As long as they achieve what they want, it's evil. And this man actually said one thing, that there was a time years ago where he used to work somewhere, and he got a little carried away, and he was a bit flirtatious with a work colleague, and all he did at the time was just flirting via text. He said nothing happened. These are his words. He said this woman gave him hell. She went to the ends of the earth, was very dramatic, told everybody he's a selfish man, he's this and this and this, after giving you 4 children, after doing this and stuff. I mean, come on, man, off the jump. If you're a third party like me, you hear that. And I can imagine women are emotional beings. You see that, typical man, here we go. Okay, imagine, only but Mary, he's got 4 children, and he did yada yada yada. But not knowing, it's like This is someone, like they say in Yoruba language, you are attacking a man, and I'm not justifying infidelity or anything, but you're attacking a man for being flirtatious with a colleague at work. You gave him hell. You told everybody and their mama about him, but you imposed 2 other men or man's children on him and made him raise them for over 17 years of his life. Man, the fact that you are bedding that person, you see, women like this. She's seen, you see, women like this is my own take, and I'm going to close this. She's seen what you call security in this man. She's seen a nice guy. The niceness was interpreted for foolishness. That's what normally happens. Trust me. When a man is nice, I don't believe that being nice or loving someone, having soft spot for someone, should be interpreted as, oh, you're a simple man, you're crazy. This is why some men think it's acceptable to be cruel to women, to be harsh, and, you know, act as if you don't give a shit, treat them like a doormat. But then again, that's fueling misogyny. Things like that fuel domestic abuse. It's not fair. It's emotional abuse. But then again, you find some women like this woman who abuse a man's soft spot for them, a man that loves you, a man that's family oriented, a man that loves his children, that loves you, that gave everything to be with you, but then you had to go bust your legs wide open for someone else. And then you not only that, you took someone else's children and then you gave it to him, knowing fully well that brother his life is upside down right now. You can imagine, right? And he basically asked me to share this story so I can warn other people and stuff. It happens. I'm sure people are watching this must have heard similar stories. I've heard kind of similar stories. I've actually heard one 2 years ago. A man in his 60s, the year he turned 64. This was actually 2014. Yeah, it was back in 2014. The man turned 64 only to find out he had 5 children. 3 of the children are not his. 2 belongs to his younger brother. That's absolutely insane, man. You know, it's, I don't know. But here is the closing point. If you see the handwriting on the wall, there are indications that somebody is unbelievably manipulative. In the early days of your relationship, let me tell you, man, you might be doing yourself a major favor if you jump out and walk out, cut your losses and move. Believe me. For example, you're with someone, a woman, you find out, Okamu, that she's going to another man's house. I'm not talking about being paranoid and making things up. Blatant. Boom! And you have in the early days of your relationship, you have suspicion about maybe your second child may not be yours or whatever. My man, do DNA test, weigh your options and jump real quick. The same thing with a woman. You have a sneaky suspicion a man might have a baby outside and is going to that woman to go and say hello to the children and keeping you at bay and stuff, and you're saying, hey, because I already have a child with him, hey, I don't want to. Fam, jump. This is what happens. Some people suffer stroke and just die. Some people, you end up, because you're very angry, which is understandable, you do something illegal, you attack that woman and stuff, you kill her or you knock her out. And see, in the eyes of the law, they're going to arrest you, they're going to bang you up, and then there goes your life down the toilet. Is it really worth it? I mean, this is just my view, and I say with all due respect, you know, but imagine you give donkey years. That's evil and callous. So that means there's somebody out there, and she knows the children's dad, real dad, and she's even refusing to tell him, protecting that person's identity. Anyway, it's your boy Phrankleen. I wish you all the best, my brother, and I say that with all due respect. Hopefully somebody learns from this. What do you think, man? What do you think? What would you do if you're a man and a woman did that to you? Let's keep the conversation going. Like I said, this is not to say, women are, because you should remember, not all women are like that. Okay? And not all men are bad men. It's your boy Phrankleen. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace and love. Bye now.